Hey everybody, welcome to Bunny Data and the We Like Dota Community Night. Tonight we've got a great game for you. It's 10 stack of the We Like Dota community members. And joining me tonight, TugzMcBoat.
10 seconds to go.
Welcome, Tugs.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Hopefully all of our technical issues are in our past, and we'll have a good clean cast this time.
Yes. Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it'll be great.
One of these will end up on YouTube sooner or later.
God willing.
Eh.
We're just following in the tradition of We Like Dota. We're messing up our sound, not pushing the right buttons, but we'll get there.
You and Sabone both just.
I know we're quite a pair, aren't we?
You two are the bane of everything that is We Like Dota that I want to love and care about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so I did a $15 challenge for Sabone. He nails it. I was like, yes.
I know. Could you believe it?
And then
Amazing.
the next 2 weeks, he's messed up both times.
Oh, that was too good.
So Sabone, if you're listening.
I gotta say, I love it when he messes up, though. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about when I mess up.
Well,
I can't
that's
imagine it's entertaining.
That's why I thought I wouldn't have to donate for like a year.
I
thought
didn't
I
think
was
you'd
gonna
have
be
to
good.
either. Yeah.
But sure enough, I had to donate, so it's
Oh.
whatever.
Yeah. Well, you're a good guy for donating and putting that in there right away.
10
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But
Oh.
we'll see. So we'll see if this one actually makes the YouTube page. So.
Yeah. No, I think it will. You know,
Reserve
all
time.
lights are green as of now. I think we're go for launch. It should be a good game.
Sweet.
So anyway, on the dire side, we have Heart557, Pretty Bunnies from Team HD, Buzzbee Cheese Whiz, Will Powered, and on the Radiant side, we've got Karma. He's their captain. Buzzbee's captain for the other side. I should have mentioned. Diddy Mitch, Devin Ride, Set Bellow, and Beef Supreme. I don't know about you, but sorry, I was gonna say Beef Supreme always reminds me of Taco Bell.
I didn't think about that until just now, but it should be. I actually.
Witch Doctor.
There's a bunch of new people here. Like I know Buzzbee and Pretty Bunnies plays a lot, and I've seen Karma, Diddy Mitch, but I think I've seen Cheese Whiz before, but I don't. The rest of the guys I haven't seen too much of. So.
Yeah, I think I've seen everybody before. Cheese Whiz, in fact, ran the community night in my absence while I was at MLG Columbus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I remember one of those. I think I remembered him, but yeah, I don't. Heart and Willpower, I don't think I've seen before. Devin Wright, I think I've seen him, but I don't remember playing against him. And then I don't know Beef Supreme or Sabello or
sure.
Setabello.
I always say Set Bellow, but you can I'm sure you can straighten that out with him. I don't know exactly how to pronunciate it.
Fair enough.
Reserve time.
Good stuff.
All right, so into the draft. On the dire side, we've got the Witch Doctor Viper and Io Ursa for the Radiant. Bans are pretty standard. All of these bans are first pick, first ban in the pro scene, so nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
The Techies ban is weird, but
Radiant.
yeah, that's a little unusual.
whatever.
Last community night game, they also banned a techie, so I don't know if that's like just something they hate because he's such a trolly hero, or if it's a respect
enough.
ban or what. I don't know.
I mean, if you're going for a push lineup that consists of melee heroes, I mean, I guess, like, sure, but
I guess.
yeah,
Not really sure. The techies is one I would ban, but he is definitely somebody I hate on the other team. So
I hate Troll, Sniper, and Juggernaut way more. So
yeah, fair enough.
The techies I can deal with. You just buy a
10
gym,
seconds
and
to go.
you don't go up hills.
Right.
And that is pretty. And then you just gotta coordinate the pushing pretty well. But we'll see. So I'm interested to see if Radiant will grab the
Reserve
Tiny,
time.
or if they are going to pair that Ursa with the Io. It'll be interesting to see. But
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could just be a pairings of opportunity.
Sure.
Tiny with Io always makes sense, but you know, Ursa's not the worst target in the world.
no, I mean, he's probably one of the top 5 or so. I'd say. I think you'd want to go. Tiny's number 1. Always
Right.
has. Always will be. And then after that, Chaos Knight's good. Legion Commander's good. Ursa's good. I mean, basically, like any sort of like strength hero who has trouble, like who gets kited easily,
Right.
is usually a pretty good option, or any sort of like ganking hero. So even like Ricky used to be one, but that was more or less just because of the blink strike combination that IO doesn't have anymore. But I still think IO Ricky wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Radiant's pick.
But yeah, Ursa's definitely a top 5, top 6 IO carry, or
Sure.
IO partner. So
Yeah, anybody who's melee, who has trouble getting in on an opponent, can really benefit from that.
Dyer's pick.
Though I still would like to see that Ursa pick up a Blink Dagger.
yeah, no, I think what you can do is have him. You can relocate and then have him immediately like you would blink behind the trees in the lane where a solo hero was farming out, and then blink in, and you can do that basically. And it's really scary too, because like you could see Ursa at the bottom of the map, and you're like, okay, I'm free to farm top lane, and then Ursa
10
backs off
seconds
out
to
of
go.
vision,
Mhm.
pairs up with the Wisp, and then teleports right below
5
the tree
seconds.
line of the lane that other hero's farming, and then blinks in and just destroys them, because Ursa
Clever.
Reserve
doesn't really lose man fights, so
No,
uh,
no, not unless he's seriously off-armed.
no. So they picked the Drow Ranger. I mean, ideally, I'd like to see nothing but ranged heroes at this point. Like, I don't think you have to go like all range when you pick Drow, but like, you definitely need to have like at least 3 other heroes be ranged, and then have a melee hero. But
Yeah, I think that
we
makes
shall
sense.
see.
Radiant's pick.
Definitely Drow's one of those linchpin heroes that you want to pick around.
hmm
And I don't think, the Ursa or the Io really benefit from her that much, so... yeah.
No, you're not drafting Wisp for right clicks, so.
Not usually.
Um, I mean, I'm guessing this is gonna be a Viper mid, and then they've grabbed. I don't.
Dyer's
Maybe like a Leshrac off lane. I'm interested to see who the Dyer's 5th pick is. So yeah, now with the Ursa and the Juggernaut pick, if they're gonna pick Drow, I really think you need to have ranged
10
heroes.
seconds to go.
It, so we'll
Yeah.
see.
Seconds.
Yeah. Could be,
I'm
though.
also not sure about their lanes, because I mean, there's your 3 cores. Because I'm not a big fan of Ursa jungle. I feel like if you're gonna run an Ursa, like you can just get much better farm in the lane. Like there's no sense in you weakening one of your lanes just so you can be in the jungle. I mean, it also depends on the enemy lineup too. Like if they're gonna be pretty passive as well, then by all means run a jungling hero. But I mean, this is aggression.
10 seconds
Like
to
all
go.
4 of Dyer's heroes right now are lane
5
dominators.
seconds.
So if you
5
wanted to do
seconds.
something like throw Ursa in a jungle, like one, if not all of your lanes are going to be at a
Reserve
severe
time.
disadvantage right now. Drow's not very strong in lane. Juggernaut's okay in lane. I mean, he's got the healing ward, but that's about all he has. He's got magic immunity, but he's not able to really dish out a ton of damage unless he's got some serious slows. I mean, I guess if you level up Blade Fury, it actually does a surprisingly large amount of damage, but he's still susceptible to like right clicks. And he's got some mana issues, and they don't really have the greatest. They don't have like a range slow. Like there's no real way to initiate on the slow for him to get off Blade Fury, and you're not going to run Juggernaut and Drow Ranger or Juggernaut and Nurse in the same lane to begin with. So
Right.
yeah, I don't really see the synergy here.
No.
As of right now, but on the same token, like I don't see like Dire is gonna, as of right now, just dominate the lane scene of the early game, but they don't have much in terms of late game, so I'm interested to see what their last pick is here. I think okay,
Radiant's pick.
so
interesting.
carry Viper and maybe send like a Lion mid, or you know what, I bet they throw Leshrac mid, so Centaur off lane, Leshrac mid, Viper's gonna be the hard carry, and then they run a tri lane with the Witch Doctor and Lion. That's not bad.
I don't know.
That's what I would do given the lineup.
Sure. I actually, it's such a hodgepodge of heroes that between the two teams, I actually like the Radiant setup better. I think that they have more of late game and they have more damage potential. I think that
Oh, for sure they do.
yeah.
I'm just like
Yeah, just trying to figure out the lanes. Yeah.
I like the Dyer's lane setup better. Like running Leshrac as a core hero is not bad. Like I mean, if you can get him farmed up and he can get an Ag Scepter, and like a BK, man, he doesn't really need much BKB this game. I think if he gets like an Ag Scepter and some armor reduction, like he is going to just go ham in the mid game.
He could be huge in the mid game, but he will fall off late game pretty hard. So I guess we'll see. Alright. So anyway, just walking through the heroes, we've got Pretty Bunnies on the Viper. He's gonna go patrol top rune. Heart 557 is on Lion. We have Buzzbeat on the Lishrak.
30 seconds to
So it could
showtime.
be a good Lishrak, like you were talking. Uh,
Yeah, it's a core list track for sure.
sure. Willpowered is on Witch Doctor, and I missed one of the heroes. Oh, already in lane, Cheese Whiz on Centaur Warrunner. Uh,
This is
sitting
gonna
by
be an
tower.
off lane tinker.
Interesting. Wow. Devon Wright is on Juggernaut. Karma is on the Wisp. Beef Supreme is on the beefy Ursa. Titty Mitch is on Drow, and last hero, Tinker, like you were saying, off lane, set battle.
Yeah. So they're I guess they're running the Ursa Io in the jungle, or is okay? No, Ursa's gonna go down to or Io's gonna go down to Juggernaut. Okay, and Ursa's gonna solo jungle. All right.
Interesting.
Yeah, Wisp doesn't really work that well as a lane support. He's great mid. He's a dominant mid support. But if you run when you run him, because you usually run him as a dual lane, but he's not the greatest in terms of lane.
Yeah, he has kind of a hard time zoning for people unless the Wisp
Yeah,
player is just of a really high skill.
Yeah, he can't zone. He has no armor. Oh, he's done.
In
Oh,
a tough
nice
position.
avoid, but yeah, he still
Ooh.
does not able to avoid it. Just one more right click by the Witch Doctor. And yep,
Oh,
there he
no.
goes. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, you don't want Wisp as your as a lane support trying to zone out, especially in that scenario. Like he has no stun. His escape is dependent upon the location of your ally.
Yeah.
And you know, if you don't go like immediate bottle, your regen capabilities are not that great, even for your the guy you're supporting in lanes. So, well,
Yeah,
so
it was
that's that.
a good attempt to get out. He did tether to somebody farther back to try to get that tether to pull him away, but just not enough.
Right. In the mid left, Busby is doing really well against Diddy Mitch right now, which I expect him to. Lishrak has got a lot of nukes. Drow's pretty squishy. Misses the stun right there, but even his right clicks right now are still pretty good.
Yeah, that stun is definitely a skill shot.
If those creeps would leave, he'd be able to nuke down this Drow as is, but
Yeah. Oh,
good
nice stun.
He's able to grab a kill, so.
Yeah, I gotta say, Drow, ever since that change back in like what was it, like 6.82 or something? But she's just been very difficult to play in the first like 5 minutes of the game.
I mean, she's never been that great, but
There was a time back when she was like you know, a hot pick in pubs. That had to have been about like a year and a half to 2 years ago, where she was
Right.
just like dominant. But you know,
I mean, she still is. It's just like in lower level pubs, like she still gets picked a lot and still does really well, just because people don't know how to rotate and gank on her. I mean, she doesn't have an escape. She's got a pushback if she scales it, but most people don't scale Gust that early. So,
mhm.
I mean, she kind of has to here just to try to keep off of Lestrak's like stun and his lightning storm if he scales it, which it doesn't look like he is, which I really like actually. It's a really good push, and it does wonders in this situation right here when he only has 2 creeps and he's gonna be able to burst her down. Like I
Oh,
really
wow.
like the skill build by Busby right now, skipping the lightning storm entirely and going for all of his points in Diabolic Edict and Split
Yeah.
Earth. So if he's able to get a stun off and is able to basically isolate the creep wave down to like 1 or 2 creeps and stand off to the side, he can basically put all of that damage onto a hero. Really underappreciated. So I really like his skill build in skipping lightning storm there. He's also going to be able to push insanely fast with this. So look to see that mid tower down by around the 7 to 8 minute mark.
That is true, and Leshrac does definitely push really strongly. And that Edict really does push a lot of damage, even though like it does spread out like you were talking about. If he can, just the pure math value of it makes it a huge amount of damage.
Yeah, if he's able to manipulate the creep wave correctly, which it seems like he's doing a good job of now. Like, I mean, Diddy Mitch has got to be really careful for when he goes on him. He's already has a boost advantage over him, so his move speed's already faster than his by a significant amount. So if Diddy Mitch isn't careful, he's going to get chased down again by the Lurstrak, and is going to get all the damage of the Diabolic Edict. Diddy Mitch, Busby's diving again. think he's been a little bit too aggressive in this scenario. Needs to go ahead and get out.
Yeah, it was a good pushback. Misses the stun.
Yeah, so and that's that manipulation of the creep wave that I'm talking right there. Like in that scenario, he didn't have any creeps to dive with him on another tower, so he's taking all of the damage in that scenario. And Diddy Mitch is able to stand back, push off a gust, and has his creep wave. Like most of the damage that Busby took right there were from creeps. It wasn't from drow. It was from creeps and from the tower. And that's just something you've got to like. Players got to realize when they start doing the dives is they got to be able to move with the creep wave. And while I've been talking about this, I think we've missed like 5 kills.
Oh, good. Well, we've been so wrapped up in the mid contest here. It's been kind of exciting. I would actually like to see Drow take another level in Gust here. I think it's the only thing that's saving her against the Leshrac.
I mean, I'm not too worried about it. She hasn't seen a lightning storm yet. The only thing she's trying to stop is a see, like right now.
Ooh.
So see how now he's pushing right now, but he's got the creeps tanking the tower. How he's able to take all that damage on the Drow without putting it onto the creeps, and while 2 of his creeps are taking tower damage. Like that's the proper way to dive in this scenario. Like he basically Busby just put on a clinic of what not to do, followed immediately up by what you should be doing. So
Wow, we're seeing it all here, guys.
right. But yeah, I mean, this is the problem with, like, unless you have a Chen, an Enigma, or an Enchantress, I am not a fan of sending a hero into the jungle early. It just makes your wings so much sleeper. Granted that the mid lane's been dominated and there's nothing you can really do about this, but the bottom lane has not been doing well at all.
Oh wow, yeah, they're getting invaded by the Dire already.
Yeah, and the top lane has not gone that well either.
Yeah, Wisp is just landing all of his spirits, but it's still not doing anything to the Centaur Warburner.
I'd like to see a little bit better last hitting by the Viper, considering how well they've been able to push back on the Tinker. The Tinker's actually done well considering the scenario that he's been in, but at the same token, like the rest of the lanes are going so poorly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another diabolic edict. Yeah, Diddy mentioned they gotta rotate lanes. They gotta send.
Oh my.
They gotta send the Wisp to babysit the Drow, or she's just gonna die every time. And there's the tower down at 635.
Mid tower's getting the what for. The Dire might want to mine their top tower.
I mean, and that's just like, I mean, you can't rotate when you have a jungler like Ursa. You're basically relying on the Wisp to be all over the map anytime someone's in trouble. You don't have another support to TP in, and you really don't want to TP in one of your cores to try to save the Drow Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and she's it's not like, she died right there in the river, but she's also died 3 times like underneath her tower.
Right. Yeah, there's just no safe place for her to run.
No, and at this point now, Busby's on such a kick right now. He's able to chase down. Looks like they're gonna go on the Tinker right now. Tinker doesn't have laser for another 5 seconds. They're diving right now. Here comes the Leshrac. He's moving.
Ooh, Io with the save.
Honestly, I think Busby, if he activates Diabolic Edict, should be able to get
The Io too.
Should have been able to kill the Io.
I think so too. He's gonna go for it.
I think he's gonna try for the split up
Gonna
and
try
wrap
for
it
the
around.
stun. There's the stun.
There's the Diabolic Edict, and that's 2 heroes down. Really well played. The wrap
Yeah.
around by the Viper is able to put him in the middle.
Yep. Nice pincer move. Good job, guys.
So yeah, at this point now, with max Diabolic Edict, Leshrac should just be moving around and they should be pushing towers. There's no reason for them not to, and they should just be able to dominate. Really what I want them to see is try to move down to the bottom tower right now. Radiant tier 1 on the bot lane. Take that out, and then just invade their jungle so that Ursa has nowhere to go.
That would make a lot of sense. That would also make it much more difficult for him to Roche.
Right.
I actually really don't like the Ursa jungle. I feel like he's so slow. He definitely, pre 15 minutes, he just doesn't really rice the jungle very fast.
I mean, the problem with junglers is that you inherently make your lanes weaker by Stampede on the Drow. He's down there. Centaur running away, getting the Blade Fury down. Ursa falls to the Viper. Io tethers up the Juggernaut. They might be able to burst down the Centaur. They're able to. In the meantime, laser on the Witch Doctor. He's blinded. In the meantime, Viper's still right-clicking down. The other Toxic doing some serious work. Is he going to be able to pull down the Drow Ranger or the Juggernaut? No, he's not. But he's going to go on the Viper. Viper trying to walk away, kiting the Io really well. Really well played there by Pretty Bunnies.
Radiant's top tower.
Yeah, that Viper's so strong.
And with the Hood of Defiance, a rocket would almost do no damage to him right there. A level 1 rocket.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean junglers aren't bad if the other team is as passive as you are with their lineup, but they're not. This is a very push and gank oriented lineup from the Dire. They don't need a lot of items to come online. Ideally, they'd like a Blink Dagger on like their Lion and their Centaur. They really want their Leshrac to get like a Bloodstone and maybe a VKB, and the Viper to pull off like a Mech, Pipe, Ring of Aquila, and maybe like an Ag Scepter on the Witch Doctor. And that's it. Like, that's all they really need for their heroes to really dish out a lot of damage. Like, whereas on the other side, like, Tinker needs to have, you know, Blink, bots, charge by the Centaur. He's able to bring down the Drow Ranger, really well played by there, and he's able to get out just in time. Io's going to try to chase, but not going to be able to really do anything, and the Viper's there to back him up in case he does. You know, the Ursa's going to need to get a Blink Dagger to, otherwise he's just going to get kited, and he's really going to want to have a BKB to deal with, you know, basically the 5 stunts that they have. He needs to have a BKB, otherwise he's going to get tied. So he's going to have to get a Blink Dagger, kill some Roches, and then farm up a BKB, and that's with no damage items. The Drow Ranger just, I mean, she's an agility carry, she just needs items in general just to come online. You know, and the Tinker needs to try to figure out a way to split push, but until he gets a Blink Dagger, he's got to do it in lane, and he's susceptible to getting ganked, especially when you get a Blink Dagger on the Centaur. In the meantime, the Ursa and the Io are going to go in on the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor falls to the Ursa. They get
tower.
while eating. So much work on the Ursa right there. Unfortunately, Busby's going to fall to the Drow Ranger and the Tinker, and the Tinker are able to get out. However, we've got a follow-up initiation by the Centaur, the Viper, and the Lion. They're coming down. Just trying to see if they can get a kill here. Viper strike on the Drow. She gets hexed up. Here comes the stun, another stun. Drow Ranger's going to fall right there. Let's see if they can find the Tinker. Here comes the Centaur in. He's going to see if he can get a double edge off. Get the double edge off. Double edge. He's just ready. He wants the Viper to get the kill. Never mind, he steals it for himself.
Well played.
Oh, and then here comes the Stampede. Juggernaut's getting slowed. There's a stun. Nice Blade Fury
Ooh,
to dodge.
good dodge.
There. But the Viper's still going to dive. Nethertox is going to do some work here, but it looks like he's going to get out when the IO comes in. Omni Slash
Oh
right
my.
there. Not enough to bring down the Viper, but the run right click is.
My finest work.
That Omni Slash is so strong.
Oh yeah. And especially against someone like Viper who okay, there's a dust by the Ursa that somehow is still... did Busby see him right there? I guess not.
No.
And meanwhile, though, we're gonna have initiation on the bot lane. God, that ult is so strong.
Oh my gosh.
These heroes just melt.
I gotta say, that was the coolest thing to watch, was a Yule Scepter on an IO. I was just like, what is that disco ball? What is going on?
Especially when he's got the overcharge working. That's
Yeah.
so
Oh
yeah.
man, I need that at my next party.
So like they're gonna lose the Roche here, but they also lose their bottom tier 1 tower.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think that's an even trade. The safe lane tower for the Radiant side is honestly the most important tower in the game. So
That's an interesting point, especially with the way it cuts off such a high percentage of the map.
right, yeah, not all towers are created equally. You know, obviously tier 2, I would honestly trade my tier 2 offlane tower on the Radiant side before I would trade my safe lane tier 1 on the Radiant side. Like, that's how important that tower
interesting.
is. Yeah, like not all towers are created equally. And then whereas like the Radiant mid, but it's not the same on the Dire either. Like on the Dire side, like I would much rather have my mid lane tower than I would my safe lane tower. Like I would sacrifice my safe lane tier 1 for my mid lane tier 1. It's just the way how the map opens up depending on which towers are gone. Yeah, not all towers are created equally, and it's like, and it doesn't even like correspond like on the other side. So like the Radiant offlane is way worse than the Dire's offlane, because the Dire's offlane is close to Roshan. The Radiant offlane is close to nothing.
Right. I guess that is one of the weird things about the balance and why when they redid the map, people had a lot of concerns about where they moved the Roche pit.
Right. Well, I mean, it was. You'd think it would stay in the same area, but yeah, the Radiant offlane tower is always the most worthless tower in the game. It's honestly not worth even, like, before they changed the glyph thing, it wasn't even worth glyphing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's Centaur's position.
So much for the Radiant's courier. Radiant's main tower's coming apart.
And there's the Witch Doctor ult, and the Juggernaut's just gonna run into the Witch Doctor ult, not giving a fuck. Realize this is a mistake there. Ursa getting kited like Ursa should be done. In the meantime, he's gonna heals from the Witch Doctor. Diabolical can come out, pick up the Splitter. Nice stun by Busby there. Tinker's still gonna come in, but he's surrounded himself by 2 heroes right now. It looks like they're gonna still go on the Ursa. I don't think that's the wise idea. Viper Strike on the Ursa, now he's insanely slow. Good hex by the Lion right there. And this is why Ursa needs a DK boost.
Oh man.
Really excellent kiting right there by the Radiant, or by the Dire.
Yeah, great position, great swapping out of the people who are under threat, and great hex.
You still liking this Radiant lineup?
Do something about the tower.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of am.
Okay.
Dire's bottom tower.
As long as the Dire keep up the aggression like they are right now, and Busby just keeps dominating, he should get this kill. Like, there's no way that they should lose this game. And it's easy to say when the score is 28-7, but I say that in the sense that if they start playing passively, and they don't keep taking these next 3 towers quickly, like they should be able to get these next 3 towers in the span of the next 6 minutes, tops.
Mm-hmm.
If they start to play passively and they allow the Radiant to farm in their jungle and to let the lanes keep pushed in a little bit and able to farm at the lanes without having the fear of death in their eyes, like, that's how the Dire can fuck this up. But without that being said, like, they should start pushing towers. There's such a clear advantage. Busby is absolutely dominating right now. That damage output by him is insane, and he doesn't even have an axe yet. He's still working on a Bloodstone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and once he gets that Bloodstone, he'll be much freer with his ability to push everywhere.
I mean, he's double the net worth of the next highest hero.
Mm. Yeah, I gotta say, he's really playing a very mean Leshrac, and if it weren't for that, I really do still like the original lineup of the Radiant side. I can't help it.
Well, like, I mean, like, so they took down the Ursa right there, and I think Busby did get off a pretty good fair amount of damage, and he didn't land a nice stun. But for the most part, it was the Viper Strike. It slowed him. He got hexed by the Lion. He got Centaur War Stomped. I don't know if he got impaled or not. And then in the entire duration of that, the Witch Doctor just healed everybody.
That's true.
Meanwhile, they're gonna try to go on the Viper here. He's able to get the gank off, so good play by them. You know, that's kind of what Radiant has to do now. They have to try to get these solo ganks whenever they find someone out of position. But in the meantime, the Dire are going to push towers, and that's what they should be doing.
Right.
They,
Yeah, Dire really does need to end the mid game.
Busby is silenced. That silence is actually deceptively long on Drow, but he's able to just run with her, take her down. Laser's not going to do much against a hero that doesn't require any right clicks, and now they're going to go on this Tinker. Let's see if they can catch him up. They don't have a stun. They don't have the Centaur War Stomp here. So he does have boots of travel, so he is significantly faster. And is he going to be able to TP out? Yep. So it looks like the Lion is building mech. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I think Lion should build the Blink Dagger, and the Viper should build a mech. Like, besides the Tinker, like, what magic damage are they dishing out?
Right.
Earth Ball or the Spirit Balls. So I'd like to see those roles reversed. I'd like to see the Viper build the mech and have the Lion build a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, I think that would make a lot more sense.
Ursa goes down. Pile getting slowed, and then here comes Busby just dishing out more and more damage.
Oh my goodness.
He's gonna fall instantly. Juggernaut is able to Omni Slash away, but Finger of Death and he's done.
Wow.
And Busby already has the Bloodstone finished. He's going for Boots of Travels. No one is going to be able to run away from him.
Man, that was amazing. He didn't even care the tower and 3 heroes were there. Just just
Oh,
walk into the back line.
He's so far ahead right now. He has a 8,000 net worth advantage over the Drow Ranger and the Juggernaut.
Oh my goodness.
And yep, and here he goes. He should just start Diabolic Edict and then just
Sure.
start pushing this tower.
That's so crazy that it does damage to buildings too.
It's deceptively strong. I mean, the thing is that
Oh,
Leshrac
Centaur.
Oh! They're able to get the glyph off, maybe deny it. Nope, Viper's able to get it off. Alright, the Dire should honestly back now.
Yeah. They're all
Because
too
now
low
here
to
comes
stay.
the hard part. They took down all 6 towers. Like, given their advantage, that's what they should have done. They did it in a timely fashion. They did the right thing by taking it down in the next 5 minutes or so. Now comes the hard part. High ground is tough, especially against Tinker.
Yep. That's very true. And I'm not sure they have the kit to push high ground either.
They do. They do have. I believe the mech is on the lion. Yeah. Okay. So the mech is on the lion. So they do have some heals. They have the Witch Doctor heal. So they're able to. The creep should be able to at least tank some damage. As long as they can keep it up there long enough for Busby to get a couple Diabolic Edicts off, they should be okay. But here they are going on the Juggernaut again. Oh, Centaur more. Oh, but they stop. They want to go on the Drow Ranger. Death Ward.
Well, they committed a lot to that kill. Definitely got it though.
I think a little bit of a misplay right there. Like, I think the Drow was pretty much dead. Like, the Drow's no threat right now. Her damage output is so low that you don't really have to worry about committing a lot of heroes on her. And they were chasing Juggernaut down low as the Centaur hit his ultimate, and they could have chased him down, I believe. Instead, they opted to go upriver and just secure the kill on the Drow Ranger. But between the Centaur and the let's see, they had Viper. I can't remember who. There was another hero up there besides the Centaur, but I mean, between him and that guy, they should have been able to kill Drow relatively easily, while the others could have chased. Omni Slash, dealing no damage. That's one dead hero. Witch Doctor healing everybody up. Ursa coming in, trying to do massive amount of damage, but ends up getting split up by the Earth Split. Now Earth Split, then comes the Finger of Death. One right click, cast, and that's going to be another kill. Yeah, that's why Ursa needs a BKB.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a blind. Get closer, buddy, get closer.
Oh.
Alright, so, to lower Drow's aura by what would have been the equivalent of 60 agility right there, he needed to be about, I don't know if people can see my ping, but from there,
Yes.
if he just stood there, he would have lowered her agility by about 60. That's 60 damage over what appeared to be like 20 right clicks.
Right.
So he could have negated about like 1,200 damage right there, like 2 inches closer.
Yeah. Her kit is a little bit weird. I think that she's one of those heroes that you have to play to understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. He got the kill, and they're so far ahead right now. They really can't make any mistakes. But like, all he had to do was just attack him once, and he was fine.
Sure.
I think Busby might finally fall here.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
There it goes.
No, he didn't. A little bit of a hard dive by Busby there. He did give up quite a bit of gold, but they got a Rax at 23 minutes, which is pretty significant.
It is. Especially at mid. Breaking high ground, getting the tower and racks. I think with their lineup really opens the door for them to actually end this game early.
Yeah, this shouldn't go much longer. I mean, at this point, they all need to regroup, get the next major item they have, go Roshan, it's up, and then they honestly can pick a lane, push it in, and then end. Still liking the Radiant team, huh?
I can like the draft, can't I?
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, look at that. And he does have a Crimson Guard
Yep.
on the Centaur Warrunner.
Yep, that's a good item.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to see him have a Blade Mail over the Crimson Guard. I'd like to
I
see
agree.
that first, but
I think the Crimson is a little bit too defensive for this particular game.
Right. Yeah. Given how well they are, I mean, Centaur's strength gained is the best in the game, so I mean, there's no one who can solo him without like killing themselves, with the exception of Juggernaut. If he decides not solo Omni Slash the Centaur, but the thing is, Omni Slash is at level 2. I don't think it can solo kill the Centaur, even if he lands all the
No.
slashes.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Not without way more damage items.
No. So and they're just gonna push. Diabolic Edict doing its work. They've got the line with the mech and the Wish Doctor with the Voodoo Restoration, but it doesn't matter. They're just going to go on the Juggernaut either. They have no... Oh, here comes the Omni Slash.
Ooh.
But no damage.
Nope. Spread out over too many targets.
Tinker's on it to try to spam Mars. There's a stop by the Centaur Warrunner. That stops. Drow's dead. There's a laser and a couple rockets. Still not dealing nearly enough damage to bring him down. And the Wish Doctor should just be able to restore his Voodoo Restoration. And then they still got the mech online which they haven't used yet. So oh.
Ooh. That finger is rude.
And S2 lanes are racked. They also should just go ahead and push the tier 4s, but they'll probably end up heading for megas. Tier 4 towers, tier 3 towers already down on the top lane. I can see that happen. This is the splitter, but it doesn't matter. So much slow, so much damage. He's down. Omni Slash, Juggernaut doesn't, Omni Slash doesn't matter anyway. He's gonna get stunned. There's the double edge, right click. But it looks like the Drow's gonna be able to get him down. Busby just keeping up the Pulse Nova, not even taking it off, dealing so much damage. Centaur Warrunner bites back. Death Ward. A lot of buybacks coming up. Buyback from the Drow Ranger, from the Ursa. Not sure what else he's gonna do. Diabolic is still doing damage to the tower. That's megas. If I haven't already said it, this game is pretty much over.
Oh, I agree.
That is
Not looking good.
right click, blinks up in 2, dive to base, dive to base, dive to base. Come on, do it, do it. Coward. Oh, yeah,
Oh, he did it! Oh, he
Listen
blinked
to me,
it! Oh, see where your advice gets him?
Glorious kill.
Sure. I don't know, I think they're celebrating on the Radiant side here.
Well, they don't really have much else, so.
It's all about the small edges.
Oh, and they call GG.
Yeah, that's gonna be the game.
It's unfortunate.
So, good game. Good early game from the Dire. You know, they had a plan, they knew what they needed to do to execute, and they just got it done. What else can you ask for?
To not pick jungle heroes. That's my PSA.
Alright, fair enough.
Like, he can rotate. Okay, I need to clarify this real quick. There are heroes that do well in the jungle and they can clear it really, really quick in a hurry, and that's fine. But they need to start out in lane. Like, Ursa can definitely jungle really well, but he needs to get like at least level 3 or 4 before he starts doing that. You just make your lane so weak, especially against really, really good lane dominators. Like, look at this lineup. Like, every one of these heroes in this lineup, like, do really well in lane. Like, I mean, I guess you can try to zone off a Centaur Warrunner, but that's it. And when you take a hero like Ursa and put him in a jungle, you just inherently make your lanes weaker. And every one of their lanes like felt the pressure of that, and then they just crumbled. And then, Lurashak was able to rotate after a tower down at 630, and then they just snowballed. It was basically a death push. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't mind jungle heroes, but let them hit at least a couple levels in their lane and get some farm up before they rotate to the jungle.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I definitely like playing a few levels in lane first, no matter who you are, if you're a Doom or whatever.
Right.
Sitting in lane, you level up so much faster, and you actually help your team so much more.
Right.
But to be fair, a lot of credit has to go to Leshrac. He played a great mid game.
Oh yeah, no, he's really well.
Yeah, and really put a lot of influence all over the map this game. So
Yeah, in that scenario, like once Drow just starts getting crushed as hard as she does, like she needs to move out of lane. Like she can't stay in that lane. Or she needs to just play super defensive. Like there's just like when he's diving you in between, like almost down to the tier 2, like yeah, you got the kill there, but that's just him showing no respect for you given how far he is ahead. And um, all things considered, I think you need to move out of lane. Like you're doing nobody good by going back to the lane and dying every 35 seconds. Like even if it takes you half your life to farm up a jungle camp, like that's what you got to do. You can't let him just continue getting lane farm and kills. So
yeah, unfortunately, that's the way the game goes. But props to Busby. Played
yep,
played a
well
mean
played.
game. Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to have been up against him in mid.
And they did good. I mean,
Yeah.
they realized the strength of their heroes. They got the key items that they needed to do. Like the Lion and the Centaur both got blinks.
Hmm.
I would have liked to see the Viper gotten the mech instead of the Hood, but it doesn't matter. Like they built well. The Leshrac was able to carry his farm with the proper items. They were able to kite the Ursa well, and then once they hit that lead, they didn't let off the gas, and that's what you need to do against a team with a lineup like the one that the Radiant had. You need to push towers. You have a very strong pushing lineup. They can't really push. They can't really defend a push against a mech, Voodoo Restoration, while Diabolic Edict is hitting their towers constantly. So they did a very good job of once they got those first outer towers down to just continually push and take down basically the next 6 towers in like 10 minutes. So it
Yeah.
was good execution on their part.
Yep. Really great, and really a good primer on how to push the early game. So
Yep.
really glad to have seen it. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Tugs. I appreciate it. And so yeah, we'll see you all for the next one. If anybody else who's viewing the game would like to play in a We Like Dota community game, check out the WeLikeDota.reddit.com. Details are always there. We play Wednesday and Fridays. Thanks, Tugs. Appreciate seeing you on the cast here.
Thanks, Bunny. Have a
Mhm.
good one, guys. Take care.